Hello everybody, at Stone Monk Gamer here, host of the Mortal Realms, one of the hosts of the Mortal Realms podcast and avid Twitterer. Wanted to start creating some YouTube videos, and I'm just jumping in. I don't care what my quality is. I don't care what I'm doing. I just got to get some of these out here and start playing with it. So the first thing I thought I'd start with is just an introduction to maybe the things that I want to do this year, my challenges to myself, and I'm thought that I could share with you what I want to do, my big dreams and plans just for playing the game and modeling and being active in the community, and then along the way it would prompt me to create videos as I'm putting this stuff out there. So follow along if you want. At the end of the year, see how I did. I'm titling this video, the series, called Doomed to Succeed, because if I actually accomplished everything that I wanted to do, my basement would be full, my bank account would probably be broke, but we'll see how it goes. And I'll have had no social life outside of wargaming. So these are just some of the things that I'd love to accomplish. So we'll see at the end of the year how much I can take off. I have also apologized. I'm getting over about a 9-week cough, and you probably heard it some on the podcast. So hopefully I won't be hoarse like this throughout all this. But let's get started. So I'm breaking up the things I want to do into a number of areas. Events, the armies some armies I want to create to do demos with, some kind of the armies I want to spend more time on, high quality stuff, tables and displays, both for my personal gaming table and then some other things, number of games I want to play, the amount of content that I want to publish in this space. And I want to thank obviously my co-hosts on Mortal Realms for kind of inspiring me and helping me out with this, both Davey at red_Zeke and Mal at Mortal Realms. And then other people, so like Tyler Emerson at Scrubby and Wells, and Vince Venturella and his content, and many others. So hopefully as I get more into the YouTube scene, I'll know more of you, and we'll become one big happy family. All right, now I'll get into it. So for events, this month I'm going to Wapaka, which is in kind of mid-north Wisconsin, USA. And it's my first time going to an event outside of my hometown. I'm only a couple of years into this hobby, but it's one that's been attended in the past by people from around the world, and is just supposed to be a really good time. So I'm preparing right now I'm in the heat of getting my army ready and painted for that. And I guess the goal there is I do hope that I get some recognition for the quality of the conversions and paint that I've done on it. I'm probably a mid to just above mid-level painter, but I've been working really hard on this one. It's been a lot of time. Every skeleton has great highlights and that sort of stuff. So just hope that I get some recognition. I also want to either get to help with or run an event by the end of the year, another event outside of Wapaka. So that's a far-fetched one, but there you go. I want to demo Age of Sigmar at least 6 times. I've got a couple lined up with family, people I know, and then I want to just maybe get out to the store and demo for some other people. So that's something. I want to run or participate in the Path of Glory campaign, and that kind of goes in with Mortal Realms. We're going to be doing that hopefully in the first or second quarter of the year, and we've got a few people who are getting on board and getting excited for. So for events and kind of that sort of thing. Armies that I want to build for demo, and this would be tabletop quality. I've got the Bloodbound and the Stormcast from the starter box, and I'm probably about 50% of the way on both of those. I've got Sylvaneth boxes from when that released. I'm really excited to build that army. And then I've got some Skaven from the Isle of Blood box that I bought like last year sometime. And I've got enough to build an army with a Grey Seer and that sort of thing. I suppose if I did anything, I'd want to maybe buy a monster, an A-bomb or something like that. But we'll see. And then so those I can build those. I can build them fast. I can paint them fast and have them ready to demo so people have options to play. So that's just something I really want to do. For high quality armies, for kind of just continuing my growth in painting, I want to continue growing my death army. So right now I focus on skeletons, spirits, and that sort of thing. I'd really like to get into kind of vampires and fleshy stuff. And really, my general of my army is a vampire. He has an affinity for bones and feathers. That's kind of the way I've framed it. So maybe there's somebody else, his cousin, brother, a rival who's very focused on the other kind of thing. So something I'm really interested in getting to. Don't know if I'll go the same route as that every unit is from a different race, but that would still be kind of fun and interesting to go along with. For Path of Glory, I'm kind of interested in starting a Tzeentch army, and so Tzeentch is so colorful and cool, and be really cool to try and do that to a high standard. And then I want to do at least one centerpiece model this year. Last year I did, actually year before, 2014 I did Nagash. This year I'd love to do either Archaon, maybe one of the Mortarks, or if rumored Lord of Change model comes out, we'd love to maybe do that. So to go along with the Tzeentch army, but we'll see what happens there. So tables and displays. The first thing I would do is I've got a display that I'm working on for Walpaka, and I think it'll be the basis of another table, but I'm working on that one right now, and I'm hoping to put up some progress stuff on that as we get to it. But then I want to do a ruined castle board with a lot of elevation and walkways and plankways and that sort of stuff in the realm of death to go along with my army. And then I purchased on Kickstarter, I got into it's an outpost terrain Kickstarter. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I got a ton of these kind of like wooden log fortress type things, or like a fortification, like an Old West fort kind of thing. And I thought that would be really cool to do like a busted up outpost in the realm of beasts in Gur. So as if just gotten ramshacked and had a bunch of different levels, and some walls are tipped over and some are still up, etc. So I think that'd be really cool. And then another display that I'm working on for my local game store, Pegasus Games and Hobbies in Madison, Wisconsin, is a small display for a few Stormcast and a few Bloodbound. So you might have Vandus and 5 Liberators facing against some of the Blood Reavers, and maybe Corgus Cole, or maybe one of the other guys. So I'm going to pick up another starter set, build a board that's maybe a foot wide by 2 feet deep or something like that. I don't know, and or maybe shorter, a foot wide by 8 inches or something. We'll see what kind of room they have. And build a display board that they can put in there so that when people are walking by they can see the models. I think that the pictures on the boxes are great and they look more cool than ever. But if one aspect of getting more people into the hobby is getting the models in their hands and letting them see it, I think this is just one step closer, getting them out of the box on a board to see what they look like, and that sort of thing. So so that's basically at least one display board, 2 display boards, and 2 get the terrain built for 2 full tables. Hopefully I can get some help on that from Davey. I'm sure he'd be keen. But yeah, it'd be very cool. Games played. I had my second kid earlier in this year in April, so I kind of had to step back quite a bit from playing actual games. And part of the reason I got into creating Mortal Realms is because it was a way for me to participate in the hobby. With planning and that sort of stuff, and thinking about and reading without getting out to games, and that was really cool, and I don't want to take away from that. But I do want to probably want to get in about 32 games of Age of Sigmar. So what does that come out to? I kind of took a couple off, so it's not exactly 3 games a month, but I figure with a couple of events, you get more games in during that, and I'm trying to get games in when I'm traveling, maybe try and find ways to meet people in different cities and where I'm traveling, and get some games in. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. We can get a game in when I'm traveling. I'm usually going up to Minneapolis once a week, but Um, you know, I might even be in other countries in the coming year, so we'll see. And then, yeah, so I mean, those are the kind of, I want to get in some squeezing these games, more of them, just play some more. Now on to the publishing. Now this is the side that's kind of above and beyond. I think most of us are in the hobby for painting and playing and that sort of stuff, and that's what I love. But I really my background is in media production and stuff, and so there's part of me that's drawn to it. And Mortal Realms has been really a lot of fun for us, and have gotten really good response from everybody in the community. So, if we continue on our current pathway, we're probably going to get out 12 podcasts this year. We've already got one that hit in January, and we're planning the one in February now. But we've got ideas for other content, and there's so much of the AOS stuff that we want to cover. We're not trying to chase the release schedule and be up on current events and that sort of stuff, but we do want to be very thorough and consistent in how we're being able to present as much of the story as possible, so people know where we're at as we're progressing. And we got a few other ideas for how we might present rules, so somebody could listen to rules and different ideas on them, through a podcast. So I'm thinking about 21 episodes I'd like to put out, and I'd love to. I don't know where we're at with our listenership and that sort of stuff, so I'd like to be. And that doesn't really matter because, again, I'd put it out if only 2 people were listening because we're just having fun with it. But maybe just have some goal for getting it to more listeners. I'm going to say 12 YouTube videos. That's one a month, and obviously with my list, if I'm getting this done, I'm putting out more, I guess. But I'm putting out a ton of content on Twitter, which leads me to my next one. Is I want to put out about 6,000 tweets this year. I think I was at like 5,000, this past year. I'm crazy on Twitter. I love it a lot. I like seeing pictures. I'm, just moved to an Android platform from iOS, and it doesn't act the same, and I'm not having as good of a Twitter experience as I was, but maybe I'll go back. But I'd like to put out a lot of tweets, keep sharing the content like I've been sharing it, and going back and forth with people, having conversations about Age of Sigmar and how it's getting done. So there you have it. There's my goal. I've got a lot here, and I'd be pretty pumped to even do a portion of this. I think that if I'm focused and I've got the right attitude about some of these, so like the tabletop standard armies, I've got everything I need for all 4 of those. So it's just a matter of keeping on task, getting it done, cracking it out, and not making maybe more work for myself that I can do sometimes, especially like with my Death Army, where almost every single unit is a conversion, even little tiny things. So it's all about setting the right goals and expectations, and knowing what you're capable of. So I hope you enjoyed this little my introduction to Doomed to Succeed. I hope you follow along, give me some encouragement, or challenge me. So, even your boos and scoffs will keep me motivated. And just want to thank Vince and Tyler and Tom, also from the Warhammer Weekly, and a lot of other YouTubers that I can't mention enough. Tabletop Minis, Guerrilla Miniatures, Hooves of Doom, blah 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 blah. Lots of other of you for contributing to Age of Sigmar. On the Twitter side, Mingo Miniatures. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on all of them, but all you fantastic painters and people that are putting models out for me, to look at, and get inspired. Just fantastic work. Keep it up in 2016. Let's keep encouraging each other and growing the hobby and growing the player base. And hopefully we'll see you in another video.